Good morning and welcome to CTV Sports. I'm Steve Lane here at the Grand Champions Polo Club, field number 5, and we are geared up for game number 6 in the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup. We've got all 8 players on the field, 2 umpires on the field as well, and 2 teams playing for Loudmouth in the multicolored shirts. We have playing at number 1, Scott Sobero. At number 2, Nick Manifold. Number 3, Chris Campson. And playing back, Michael Armour, 8-goal team. For Rafool Polo, the team in blue, we have playing number 1, Ray Rafool. Playing number 2, Santos Bellini. Instead of Leo Mendelbaum today, we have Henry Porter playing 3 and Juan Bellini at the back door. And right now, Loudmouth has to go for a near side back shot, getting that ball out. Picked up right here by Nick Manifold. Manifold going to try the attack right here, but come in there and picked off by Juan Bellini, and we've got a quick whistle right off the bat and a possible riding over the shot from behind. So we'll wait to see where the umpires position the ball. It looks like they both agree, and they are headed towards that east end for a penalty in favor of Loudmouth. Now, just a little breakdown right here. Rafool has played 1 game. They are 0-1. Loudmouth has played 1 game as well. They are 1-0. 7 teams in the tournament, 3 brackets. And after today, we have a doubleheader today. Next game at 3 o'clock, and that will complete all the finals in bracket play. So the top 4 teams will be ranked. Top 4 teams will go to the semifinals on Friday. And in the meantime, Chris Campson hits a penalty 4, which is good. So first goal of the day off the penalty line. Chris Campson sends it high, straight, right on through. Umpire Schwetz back there behind. In fact, our co-commentator out in the saddle today, a man of many hats, Dale Schwetz in the pink, umpire Gaston Dorniak in the orange, Rafool in blue, Loudmouth in the multicolored shirts, and Chris Campson going to go back and retrieve that ball out of the bowl in. First the offside, now the near side. Here comes Henry Porter, staying down, checking with him. Campson going for the big neck shot right there, but Bellini's going to check down and intercept that ball. Bellini, coach to turn it right over to Santos Bellini, ridden right there by Manifold. And here comes, no, that was Michael Armour in there, Chris Campson trying to take it towards that west end, and a little flip shot right there by Santos Bellini. Santos Bellini coming in there and riding off Manifold, and Manifold reaches down in front. But we also had Henry Porter in the mix as well, so we'll wait and see if we have a 1-meeting-2 call right there or a reaching against Loudmouth, and it looks like the reaching is going to be the call. So we'll have a penalty 5A, that ball going across the field. Nobody really in an offensive position. So Juan Bellini puts the ball down. Looks like he's satisfied with it. Umpire calls play, and here is Juan Bellini. Tapping it one time, looking for players down the field. He's got 2 in the center, but they are marked up, so he finds Henry Porter on that gray pony on the far sidelines, and Michael Armour coming back, as well as Nick Manifold right there as well. But Juan Bellini, that ball dropped off for Bellini, and now Bellini sends a shot up the field looking for a blue jersey, but Chris Campson right there intercepts that pass that was slowly rolling towards him. And now Campson bringing that ball back over towards the center. Campson trying to find Ray Rafool right there, but in comes Chris Campson to pick up his own shot. Campson now checking down. Campson got Santos Bellini coming in behind, and Nick Manifold is letting him know that. Campson going to flip it out. Now goes back, little fake shot right there. Gets around Santos Bellini. Now has to get around Father Juan. And now a quick whistle right here on the play. So we've got a player going back and forth, as we can see the hand gestures from umpire Schwetz. So once again, Rafool Polo in blue will have the penalty 5A from the point of the infraction. 5:16 on the clock right here in chukker number 1. So a do-or-die situation today for Rafool Polo. Actually, for Loudmouth, too, they would not like to end up 1-1, although they have some net goals with their last game. But right now, Juan Bellini puts the ball back in play, and a nice shot right over to Henry Porter. Chris Campson coming with him. Porter able to get by Campson for the first shot. Campson's going to win the right-off, does an offside tail shot, and now Campson and Porter come together on the boards. Campson with Porter on his hip, turns the ball back around, now escaping away from Porter. Campson right now, he's got Juan Bellini on his left. Campson going to dribble, just trying to get around Porter. Porter unable to break things up right now. Campson still on the ball. And now Nick Manifold with a shot downfield, a give and go between Manifold and Campson. And Santos coming in. Or excuse me, that's Henry Porter on that gray pony. Henry Porter, he's got Santos breaking downfield, trying to stay ahead of Michael Armour. Michael Armour played one in his last game, playing number 4 here today. And now Manifold stops momentarily, hits that ball a little bit too far, and Henry Porter is going to jump on the loose ball, taking it towards goal, and a little flick of the wrist right there at the end. So Henry Porter scoring that goal from the field. So Manifold unable to control the ball, hits it a little bit too far, which allows Henry Porter to jump on it. So Henry Porter scoring here in the first chukker from the field, a score of 1-1. And right here we see Porter just come to the inside of Manifold. And now Porter headed for goal right here. And Manifold dead behind. That ball showing up just short of the end line. And Porter able to tap it on through. So 3:41 on the clock, and we'll have our first courtesy horse change of the day. A set of ones on the board, 1-1 here in the first period of play. Loudmouth scoring from the penalty 4 line, and Rafool Polo, the team in blue, scoring from the field by Henry Porter. So don't forget today at 3 o'clock, our last game in bracket play, where we have 2 teams that are 1-0 going up against each other. So an important game here this afternoon. And both of those teams, Dracares and Oria Polo, both in bracket 1. And bracket 1 had 3 teams in it. Those 2 teams plus Windswept. Windswept came out with a record of 0-2. So today, somebody's going to be 2-0 and somebody's going to be 1-1. So an important game at 3 o'clock for both of those teams. Our courtesy horse change, we try and keep 45 seconds or less. And, of course, Loudmouth coming over to talk to Red Armour, coach in that team, father of Michael Armour, former 9-goal player. Dale Schwetz and umpire Dorniak having a little bit of a chat while the courtesy horse change takes place. So all players back on the field lining up for a bowl-in after that goal scored by Henry Porter. Juan Bellini adjusting a little bit of a tack out there, adjusting the stirrup leather. Players line up on umpire Dorniak. Rafool on your left, headed to the goal to your right if you're watching from the center camera. Loudmouth in the multicolored jerseys. On the right, headed for the goal to the left. And we swap goals after every goal is scored for any of our new viewers out there. And right now, Loudmouth going to win this bowl-in. Campson sends a shot downfield, and nobody there but Santos Bellini. Santos Bellini with a little bit of a near side shot. And Chris Campson going back to get that ball. Santos unable to retrieve his own back shot. Now Campson all alone right here. He's got room to go. He's firing right on through. Juan Bellini has no play. Campson still with the ball right here. And Campson tapping that ball and just a little bit wide to the right-hand side. So Rafool dodging a bullet right there. And Juan Bellini will bring that ball and put it back in play off the back line. 2:58 on the clock. Bellini bringing that ball across goal. Michael Armour staying right there with him. A shot across goal over to Santos Bellini, and Santos checks down, letting players go down the field. Juan Bellini headed downfield, but Santos checked down, trying to get around Campson. Now Juan falls in behind. Campson has to clear the way. Being told by the umpires to clear, and Juan Bellini spurts out ahead with the ball and the play, trying to look for Ray Rafool, and Ray being ridden off there by Scott Sobero. And now here comes Santos riding off Michael Armour. Santos squeaks ahead. Santos carrying the ball towards goal with a shot on goal, and that ball right on through. So what a great play right there by Santos Bellini, and that is Rafool's second goal of this period from the field. So Rafool, a different team today. And here is Santos with a nice neck shot and a perfect shot right there by our camera crew and our goal judge right in place as well. So all players coming back to the field in the center, lining up on umpire Dorniak. Once again, that ball comes out the back door. Santos Bellini and Rafool going to win this bowl in, and now here comes Michael Armour, but Chris Campson picks up the loose ball. Campson trying to get around Bellini. Bellini doing a great job of marking Campson. Umpire Schwetz falls in behind. And now Bellini tried to get a shot over to Father Juan. And now here we go. This is Santos Bellini. That was Henry Porter at first. Excuse me for that. They look alike. And now Chris Campson with a shot on goal, and he's going to answer that goal just scored by Rafool. So Chris Campson's second goal of the day, scoring both goals, one from the penalty line and this one, of course, from the field. 1 minute exactly on the clock. And right here we see Campson pick it up, takes a shot from about 24 yards out and scoring. So a high percentage shot right there. Looks like we'll get this bowl in going here before the first horn. Umpire Dorniak puts the ball on the ground to the players. Chris Campson wins a lot of bowl-ins, and he's still doing it. Going to the whip right here, trying to outrun Juan Bellini. Works the ball on the near side, and now Bellini comes back, turns the ball to the inside, has to allow Campson to clear. Bellini would like to get a little more yardage right here before the second horn. Right over to Santos Bellini, hooked out of there by Michael Armour. Campson picks up the ball. He knows how much time. He's right there by the clock, trying to get around Bellini. Campson, the highest-rated player in this tournament right here. And now Campson does get by Bellini. Few seconds remain on the clock, and Campson with a line drive down the field, and that's going to end Chucker number one. So a score of 2-2 right here. A close game, and we should see nip and tuck all the way through. Stay with us. We'll be back for Chucker number 2 right here on CTV Sports.
Foot golf is a kind of life, and also it's a combination about golf and football.
So I got into sport through social media. Someone approached me on Twitter and said, "Have you tried it?" I'd never heard of it at that point. So I went to my local course and tried it and just completely fell in love with the game.
This is not as easy as it looks on your body. It's a lot of kicking. We don't normally kick this many hard kicks in soccer.
For me, this and the U.S. Open are the two top U.S. tournaments. It's something we all look forward to every single year.
Great fun, and I think everyone will enjoy it when they try it. You can't not have fun.
When you set goals at the start of the season and you're able to achieve them at the end of the year, I think I can speak for everyone and say when we set goals and we make the sacrifices that we make, which a lot of people don't see, and then it all comes to fruition, it's a good feeling.
I literally live, breathe foot golf.
Welcome back, everyone, to CTV Sports. I'm Steve Lane here at field number 5 at the Grand Champions Polo Club, and Game 6 about to get underway. That ball ended up on the field, so we will start with a bowl-in off of umpire Schwetz from the center to the boards. Once all players have returned, Rafool Polo in blue, an 8-goal team, taking on Loudmouth, an 8-goal team in the multicolored jerseys. So players just now warming up their horses, waiting on a couple of more players. Actually, one player from Rafool has failed to show an attendance yet, but he's on his way. So an important game here for both teams. And we will go a set of 2s on the board, a score of 2-2 here in the second period of play. Umpire Schwetz in the pink umpire jersey. Gaston Dorniak in the orange. Getting a few last-minute instructions from umpire Schwetz. Ray Rafool has returned to the bowl-in, and the ball's on the ground and back in play. And here we go. Chris Campson winning a lot of bowl-ins, both in the last game and in this game. Gets the ball out of the bowl-in and scores for Loudmouth Polo. So Chris Campson showing that 6-goal handicap and his 3rd goal of the day. So right here we see Chris going to goal. Just an easy little walk in the park for Campson. So all players come back to center. And umpire Dorniak gives the ball back to the players, and on the ground, and it's going to be Michael Armour, but he's hooked out of there by Juan Bellini. Juan Bellini now an offside back shot over to Raymond Rafool, but Campson comes in there and steals the ball on the near side. Henry Porter looking for the whistle, but there is no near side right away. Now Campson putting the ball underneath Porter. Porter has to clear. Campson tops that ball just a little bit, but enough gas to get it to Nick Manifold. No, Juan Bellini with that 8-goal experience and mindset takes Manifold out, flips the ball on the near side, still has Manifold on his left-hand side. Henry Porter unable to get to it on the near side. Campson's going to take Porter out and back the ball on the near side. Manifold unable to get to it. Juan Bellini comes firing through. Henry Porter up there as well is going to take out Chris Campson. A high lofting shot. Can he get the ball? Yes, he does. 3 feet off the ground, headed towards the left-hand side, and that ball over the back line. So Rafool Polo on the move, getting some offense going, down by 1, 3-2. And Chris Campson bring the ball in off the back line, and here comes Campson. He's got players over to the right-hand side, and now he sends a shot downfield, but not far enough for Scott Sobero, or a little bit too much for Nick Manifold. And now Juan Bellini turning that ball right here in front of us. A good shot right here. Umpire Schwetz going to fall in behind. Juan Bellini trying to get around Michael Armour. Now sends a shot down the field. All the players marked up very well in the front, and here comes Nick Manifold. Coming across, nobody coming down the line, and Manifold able to pick up that ball, taking it over there to the far boards. Juan Bellini going back with him as well, and now Manifold sends a shot up to Scott Sobero. Sobero with a shot on goal, and a great shot by Sobero, putting it right on through. Nothing that Ray Rafool could do. So Scott Sobero getting on the scoreboard here as well. A score of 4-2, and as we see, Scott Sobero, just a one-time shot, a nice cut shot right through the goal. Goal judge says, yeah, it's in there. And here we go, a 2-goal lead by the team of Loudmouth. So we'll have a quick whistle right here while we have a tack adjustment. And that's kind of the umpire's job, who's not bowling in, is to bring the last player back and make sure everything's okay. And that's exactly what Dale Schwetz did. Noticing that Ray Rafool needed a little bit of a tack adjustment, so Schwetz getting off to help right there, and I believe a knee guard came down with that last ride-off that we had. So umpire Schwetz helping out to keep the game moving along. And now if Ray would stay there to make sure Dale's horse doesn't walk off so he can get back on, that is always helpful. But Dale riding the umpire horses of the Grand Champions Polo Club, and they do a great job of providing great umpire horses. You know, you can't do a good job of umpiring if you have to concentrate on your pony. So that eliminated right here by the Grand Champions Polo Club and the umpire ponies. But Gaston Dorniak, and once again, we've got a quick whistle out of the lineup. Chris Campson was on the attack, but he must have come across somebody right there. So we'll have a replay on this play. And it looks like this will go in favor of Rafool Polo. Rafool being the recipient of a lot of penalty shots. And, yep, Campson came across right there in front of Juan Bellini. So a center hit as Juan was turned around and headed downfield. So, therefore, Juan Bellini gets the penalty 5B from the center right up to Son Santos on that great ooh, and hot lava. And we'll be right back.
The World Polo League, a new breed of polo.
We're here at the Santa Rita Polo Farm where the PTF Polo ASSN Junior Tournament is being held for the first time ever at this location. And I mean, could you get a more beautiful venue? Probably not. The tournament includes players of all ages, starting with the youngest at just 2 years old and the oldest at 20 years old. So you've got all ages, all skill levels, and a whole lot of fun. Let's go check it out.
It reminds me of my days when I was in that position playing the kids tournament, and for us it meant the world. So I'm very happy to be here supporting my son and other kids as well, because I think they really enjoy this.
All right, back to live action. Just official timeout. All players back on the field, and we'll start with a bowl in from the center to the boards on umpire Schwetz. Here in checker number 2, 4:15 on the clock, a score of 4-2 in favor of Loudmouth. The tie-dye shirts, as we might say out there, multicolored. I'm going to say multicolored because I don't really know what color to say on those shirts. It's loud, though. You're right about that. But right now, Henry Porter, that ball goes all the way through. Henry Porter gets first piece of it, but it's picked off there by Nick Manifold. And Manifold leaves it for Campson and heads downfield, and Campson fires a shot. And it's over to Manifold one more time. Manifold along those boards, trying to get around Henry Porter, and Manifold with a shot. Henry Porter's going to go back and send the ball across the field with a next shot. And now Michael Armour and Santos Bellini come together. Santos Bellini on the near side wins that play. And now Manifold checking down. Comes in front of Porter, but Porter gets the shot off. And hot lava one more time.
There's something about when you get up early, prep the plane, and you take off, and you get that first light of day. And the air is crystal smooth. You can see forever. You have to have the right aircraft for the right flight with the right crew up front. Only NetJets can do this. The flight dissolves into the background. It should just be the here and now.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Another official timeout right here. 3:38 on the clock in chukker number 2. And just waiting for all players to come back. A couple players needed to go to the sideline. And Rafool Polo, 3 players out there. Loudmouth getting a little bit of a regroup right here. And remember, in last year's Aspen Valley Cup, Oria Polo, Petros Sobatova, Finn Segunda, Justin Daniels, and Santi Torres, they won the battle of the undefeated teams with a 9-8 overtime win over Dundas. Juan Vidal Dominguez, Hope Ariano, Cable Magnus, and Robert Tito Zeta. And that was won in the 8th chukker. So, 7 teams vying for the cup right here in the 2023 Grand Champions Polo Club season. Of course, Grand Champions playing everything from Women's League, which happened this morning again. Round robin, 3 teams playing for the WCT. Over at the beautiful Santa Rita Polo Farm, we have 6 goal. We're watching the 8 goal, 12 goal, getting ready to start. And the 26 goal right around the corner next month. So a lot of polo here at Grand Champions Polo Club. A lot of supporters. Fairly good crew here at the sideline today. About 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And cool 76 degrees. So we'll start once again with a penalty 5 from the center. Dangerous riding call against Loudmouth, and this is going to be Henry Porter with a shot downfield, sending Juan Bellini down there as well. So now Chris Campson, he's going to be the first to get to that ball, and a back shot by Campson right over to Manifold. Michael Armour taking out Santos Bellini. Santos has done a great job today of staying with his man, and now Chris Campson firing on through, leaving the entire pack behind, looking over his shoulder. He's off to the left-hand side just a little bit. A little pop shot right there for an approach shot. Campson able to put that ball between the goalposts. So once again, Chris Campson coming through for his 4th goal of the day. 3 from the field, 1 from the penalty 4 line. So Chris Campson, he's hotter than a $2 pistol right here in 2 chukkers of play. And right here we see Campson coming down the field well out front of everybody. So just a nice play and a nice read by Campson and Manifold. And, of course, Santos Bellini unable to get there before the ball crosses the goal line, and Loudmouth on the board one more time. Right now, back to live action. Chris Campson turning that ball back towards the inside. Rafool wanting to whistle on the play, but here comes Nick Manifold trying to get ahead of Bellini. Manifold with a one-time shot towards goal, and that ball is going to trickle on through over the goal line. So Loudmouth right now finding some momentum and getting things going. So Campson and Manifold working well together. They play a lot together up in the northeastern part of the United States, and we see that ball just go right over that goal line. Juan Bellini unable to get there. 1:50 on the clock. So a score of 6-2 here in the later stages of chukker number 2. Umpire Dorniak lines the players up, gives them back to the players, and now Chris Campson once again in there in the mix, steals that ball. Henry Porter out front with an offside back shot. Ray Rafool going back to get the ball, and Ray unable to get to it on the near side, but Campson does on the offside, and Campson bringing it back, trying to get around Henry Porter. Henry Porter, a new adjustment on this team. Leo Mendelbaum unable to play today with prior commitments. So Henry Porter coming in at 3 goals, replacing Mendelbaum at 2 goals, making them Rafool an 8-goal team as well. They were 6th the other day. And now Campson hooked out of the play right there. And Juan Bellini waits on Manifold. Manifold with a shot towards goal. Right up to, but wide to the right-hand side. So a knock-in coming for the team in blue, Rafool Polo. Juan Bellini and Henry Porter having a little chat there before the knock-in takes place. And Bellini surveying the field. He's got players out to the right and out to the left, but no need to hurry up as Bellini sends a shot over to Ray Rafool, but Santos Bellini on this gray pony right here in front has the time to go in and make the play. Ball bounces off the boards, a lucky break right there, and Michael Armour comes in with a near side back shot, and now picked up by Porter. Campson coming in there trying to break things up. Henry Porter ridden off out of there by Manifold, and what a nice ride-off. That pony gave him that play. Campson with a strong shot downfield, that ball high in the air, and Sobero and Juan Bellini come back, and that ball hit, but we'll check with our officials. I believe the horn went while the ball was still on the field, but we will double check, and I see umpire Schwetz riding back to talk to one of the goal judges. So stay right here for that final decision when we come back for the final period in the first half of play. A score of 6-2 right here on CTV Sports.
There's something about when you get up early, prep the plane, and you take off, and you get that first light of day, and the air is crystal smooth. You can see forever. You have to have the right aircraft for the right flight with the right crew up front. Only NetJets can do this. The flight dissolves into the background. It should just be the here and now.
We are back live here on field number 5. Game 6 going on here in the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup. And that last play, if you were watching closely, the umpires have confirmed they had a goal. The goal judge had a goal. So the goal does go up on the board. A score of 7-2 right here. So we will come back to center for a bowl in on umpire Dorniak, and this will be the last period that umpire Dorniak bowls the ball in after a goal is scored. We will switch directions and bowl from this side, making it a little bit easier for our viewers on the center field camera. So just waiting on one player to return. Team in blue, Rafool Polo playing Ray Rafool playing number 1, Santos Bellini playing number 2. Henry Porter coming in and playing for Leo Mendelbaum, and Juan Bellini playing back. Loudmouth, the team in the multicolored jerseys, playing number 1, Scott Sobero. Playing number 2, Nick Manifold. Chris Campson playing 3, and Michael Armour playing back. So that team has swapped around a little bit. The other day, Michael Armour played 1, Chris Campson played 4, Nick played 3, and Scott Sobero played 2. So a little bit of an adjustment on the lineup from the Loudmouth team. And it looks like, and it appears to be successful. So, 5-goal lead right here. Starting chucker number 3, and umpire Dorniak throws the ball in. And here we go, a little bit of a sword fight in there. Remember, that ball does not make a line until it leaves the bowl in. That's a 4-year rule now. Chris Campson allowing Henry Porter to clear, and hits a line drive right into the back of Juan Bellini. But Juan Bellini, he's tougher than boot leather, and turning that ball around, trying to get around Michael Armour, and no easy task. But right now, Bellini, he sends a shot downfield, looking for Porter. But that ball squeaks by Porter, picked up by Chris Campson. Campson bringing it across the field. Henry Porter coming over to keep him honest. Chris Campson's going to check down. Campson with a little bit of a neck shot right here. And actually, that's Santos Bellini staying with Campson. Juan Bellini coming in to help out, and what a strong neck shot across the field by Campson. But Scott Sobero, the first to get to it, trying it on the near side, and Henry Porter coming in on the offside as well. And now Campson turns the ball back. He's got an open window right here to take the ball towards goal, and he does. Chris Campson scoring his 5th goal of the day. So 4th from the field, 1 on a penalty, 2. So now a 6-goal lead with 6:08 on the clock here in the early stages of chucker number 3. So great teamwork from Campson to Scott Sobero, back to Campson. Campson through for the score. Campson once again out the back door. Wins the bowl in, sends it over here to the near boards. The ball bounces off the boards. Campson, the first to arrive on the scene, going to bring it in behind Bellini, back towards the center of the field. Now sends a shot towards goal, and that ball traveling a little bit to the right-hand side, and a next shot right there by Nick Manifold, and Manifold able to keep the ball, get there before it goes over the end line, and Manifold with a deep neck shot, putting it through the uprights. So this Loudmouth team hitting on all cylinders right here today. And Manifold from about 9 yards out with a neck shot. So Loudmouth might be 2-0 if things keep going the way they're going. And now ball all the way back through the bowl end. Henry Porter right here, trying to get around Campson and ahead of Manifold. Oh, unable to keep that ball going. Manifold's going to pick it up. Manifold right now drops it off to Campson. Campson, he's been the workhorse here today. Campson, so far, he's got Scott Sobero downfield. He's going to try and get the ball to him, but Sobero ridden out there by Rafool. And now Juan Bellini coming in there as well with an offside shot right over to Porter. Porter able to get a mallet on it, but beaten out of there by Manifold. Back to Campson. Campson calling for the ball, turning the ball back around. Now it's going to shoot. And that ball going to the left-hand side of both goalposts. So we'll have a knock-in right here by Juan Bellini. So Manifold and Campson working well together, knowing where each other is and calling for the play And right now with 4:05 left, and it looks like we'll have our courtesy horse change. And Scott Sobero taking advantage of that, as well as Chris Campson. And don't forget, today at 3 o'clock, over at the beautiful Santa Rita Polo Farm, two teams, both of them 1-0. Dracare is going against Aria Polo. Both of them 1-0. So now it looks like the players have returned to the field. And Henry Porter going back to bring the ball in. So a little change up right there between him and Juan Bellini. Maybe Juan not quite comfortable. Actually, Henry Porter went off to change horses, so maybe Juan Bellini bring the ball back in. Just decided to do that courtesy horse change right now, since we're down there at both team camps. Both teams camped out on the west end of the field, and that's where the play ended. So, eminent opportunity to speed things along, and Juan Bellini back. Umpire has called play. Juan Bellini surveying the field. He's got Ray Rafool well downfield. Bellini dribbling it in over to the right-hand side. Michael Armour staying back there with him. No, that's Manifold back with him. Michael Armour going down the field to take care of Santos Bellini. And now a shot down the field, and Michael Armour headed that way with a near side attempt and unable to get to it, and probably crossing over after the back shot in front of Raymond Rafool. So we'll see where the umpires decide to set this ball. Rafool had an open field headed in their direction. And it looks like a penalty 4 right here. Umpire Dorniak putting the ball down. Henry Porter teeing it up. So Rafool desperately needing a goal right here. And this looks like they have moved it. Okay, I'm in agreement with this. They have moved it to a penalty 3. So instead of a 4, and remember, 2 questions you have to ask yourself on a play like that. And, of course, location of the players and where the foul took place, 2 very important factors that go into determining the penalty selection or where the ball should be. But in the meantime, Henry Porter sends it right through the uprights, desperately needing that goal. So Henry Porter scoring here in the third period on a penalty number 3. His second goal of the game, the other one being in the first period from the field. So Rafool Polo looking to gain a little bit of momentum right here in the third period, and hopefully coming out after a chat in the tent at halftime in a stronger second half. But Loudmouth winning most of these bowl-ins right here. And once again, it's going to end up on the end of Chris Campson's mallet. Campson taps it, sets it up, looking for Michael Armour. Michael checking down, unable to get that bouncing ball, but coming through is Nick Manifold. Manifold with a shot on goal from about 80 yards out, sends it wide to the right-hand side. So we'll have some interesting stats here at halftime. Our boys in the studio, Ricky doing a great job with our stats. And now Juan Bellini brings it back in, sending it across field, looking for Porter. Porter by himself. He's got Santos in the center, but Michael Armour is there riding him off. Porter with a strong shot downfield, and Santos Bellini going to bring his horse over to the right to get that ball. Santos checks down, setting it up for the big shot. Campson comes in on the near side. Santos with a shot towards goal, and that ball trickling right on through. What a great shot, a great setup there by Santos Bellini. Not needing any help on that play. So Santos taking his time, and right here, taps it forward, sees an open opportunity, and look at the angle he has to shoot from. So a great shot and a great play right there by Santos Bellini, rated at 2 goals. Playing with Father Juan here for the team in blue, Rafool Polo. So we've got a whistle right here, allowing one player to come back, making a long circle after that goal scored. And, of course, everybody back except one player, and the player trying to come back, just need a little extra time, and that's why the whistle goes. We don't like anybody managing the clock But right now, Chris Campson sends the ball along the ground looking for Michael Armour or Nick Manifold, and Nick Manifold going to come firing on through. Manifold with a shot on goal right there, but unable to put it across. Juan Bellini with an offside back shot looking for Porter. Porter and Campson come together on the far side. Campson checks down, turns the ball back underneath his horse's neck, back towards the center of the field, just a few steps away from Porter. Campson unable to keep it going, and now Manifold leaves it. Campson comes right on through. Chris Campson shooting towards goal, but unable to put it where it needed to be, so off to the left-hand side, and once again, Juan Bellini going to do the honors by putting the ball back in play. So just circling around, giving his team a little chat, and Campson breaking his mallet on that. Had to quickly go over and get a mallet. Remember, time does not stop, nor does the game stop for a lost or broken mallet. Unless the ball's in neutral territory and they need to retrieve that debris from the field. But right now, Chris Campson coming back. Santos Bellini right there with him. Campson turns the ball back towards center, gets away from Santos. Now followed up by Manifold. Manifold coming in there on that little dark bay pony, broken up out of there by Henry Porter. And now Campson coming back. Campson trying to get around Henry Porter. Campson fakes a full swing, taps the ball forward, looking for an open drive, and he finds it. That ball is going to be wide, and that is going to end Chucker number 3 with a score of 9-4. So, the first half, kind of a lopsided half, but I think the game is better than what the scoreboard shows. And right now we'll have some stats here at halftime to show how those two teams pair up. And we have goals. We've got 9 for Loudmouth and 4 for Rafool Polo. Shots on goal, only 5 by Rafool and 15 for Loudmouth. So that's an interesting stat. That shows that Loudmouth dominating these Chuckers. Knock-ins, only 1 for Loudmouth and 5 for Rafool. Throw-ins, 11-5. They have more than doubled the throw-ins. Chris Campson winning a lot of those bowl-ins. And fouls committed, 5 by Loudmouth and only 1 for Rafool. So Rafool playing a pretty clean game right here. Penalty scored, 1 for each, and that was a penalty 3 for Rafool, scored by Henry Porter, and a penalty 4 scored by Chris Campson in the first Chucker. So there you have it. Looks like Loudmouth, and the numbers don't lie. Looks like Loudmouth dominating most of this game. So stay with us. We'll see if those numbers change for the second half. And you're watching live right here on CTV Sports at the Grand Champions Polo Club.
As far as barns go, it's 10 points. The weather, the scenic views are unbelievable. To be up here in the mountains in this weather, I don't think you have many choices nicer than this. I feel like we have some really competitive polo up here. It's friendly competitive polo.
The place is amazing. Good polo fields, good players, good courses, so it's a good experience. It's really good.
Club, they have empanadas there, they have Argentine style barbecue.
I'm in love with this place. The club is really nice, the people is really good.
At least what I can see is that it's an amazing place to be playing polo with the family, and with good friends, enjoying, and the weather is great. I can't complain at all.
There's so much to do up here, and people are great, and there's some of the best polo in the country up there.
I think this is the place to play polo in the summer.
It's as good as it gets for summer polo.
This may be my new home.
And as soon as our child is old enough, she's going to be in their polo school.
You just want to be a horse in that barn.
Hi, I'm Tomacho Pérez.
Hello, I'm Nacho Figueras.
Hello, I'm Martín Muñoz.
I'm Gonzalito Pérez.
I'm Alejandro Novillo Estrada.
Hello, I'm Nacho Novillo Estrada. I made goals and here back in Aspen.
We are back live on CTV Sports at field number 5 here at the Grand Champions Polo Club. A score of 9-4 for the team in the multicolored jerseys over Rafool Polo in blue. And how did we arrive to this score? Well, Chris Campson had 2 goals in the first period for Loudmouth. And Rafool Polo scoring 2 goals in the first chukker as well, one by Santos Bellini, one by Henry Porter. The second chukker is what made the difference, and Loudmouth Polo scoring 5 goals, unanswered goals, I might add, to bring them to 7-2 at the end of chukker number 2, and then 2 goals by each team in the third period, so a score of 9-4 right here at halftime. So, Rafool Polo with a record of 0-1, Loudmouth with a record of 1-0. So if Rafool wants to go to the semis, then they need to get something going here in this second half of play, and that's what Juan Bellini is trying to do with Henry Porter, and Chris Campson comes over and interrupts that thought process, and right now, here comes Scott Sobero, headed towards goal. He scored 2 goals already. Scott Sobero getting his 3rd goal of the game. So, a nice play right there. Juan Bellini to Henry, but intercepted and broken up there by Chris Campson. And then Campson right over to Scott Sobero, and right here we see Scott Sobero taking 2 shots towards goal, an approach shot, and then the second one right on through. We will swap directions of the bowl-in right here as we do with international rules, and after every half we bring it over to the other side of the field, and right now Henry Porter with a back shot out of there, but nobody in the offensive position to take that ball down towards goal, but Nick Manifold going to leave it for Campson, and Campson comes in, highest rated player in the tournament, and now Campson sends the ball well downfield. Juan Bellini going back, as well as Michael Armour. Juan Bellini tries the belly shot, unable to complete it. Nick Manifold coming on through, being ridden off there by Henry Porter. Henry Porter wins the ride-off, circles back around, tries to take the ball across the field, left for Juan Bellini. Juan Bellini trying to get a little something going right here, and Michael Armour comes back, but now hooked out of there by Bellini. Bellini wins the play of the sword fights right now, and Bellini trying to get around Armour. Armour staying back there, riding off Bellini, the number 4 as well. Chris Campson gets a piece of it, slows it down so he can get back to it the second time. Campson now all alone out front, and we have a 3-on-2 situation right here in favor of Loudmouth. Campson headed towards goal. Campson able to complete the shot on the near side, so Loudmouth surging ahead one more time, the second unanswered goal of this period in favor of Loudmouth. And here we see Campson headed for goal, and as I mentioned, a 3-on-2 situation. Campson has an open window right there to carry the ball on through, and so does. So a score of 11-4 right now in favor of Loudmouth. Umpire Schwetz lines him up on the ball, and that's why he's not co-commentating here today. Man of different hats, and actually exchanged his hat for a helmet here today. But right now, the orange helmet taking the ball down the field, and that's Chris Campson trying to get around Ray Rafool. Rafool with an attempted back shot, and now Juan Bellini coming in there, taking the ball forward. Campson's going to win the ride-off and shoot the ball across the goal. Scott Sobero coming in there to back the ball, and a back shot by Sobero, but just not quite the angle he wanted or needed to get the ball between the goalpost. Of course, they've got a lot of goals, 11-4, the score here. Juan Bellini bringing the ball in off the back line, sending it over to the right-hand side, looking for Henry Porter. Henry Porter on the near side, just ahead of Michael Armour. Chris Campson coming back as well, and Henry Porter releases the ball, and he's going to give it up to Campson. Campson with a neck shot right here towards our center camera. Juan Bellini coming in here as well. Juan Bellini going to give up the play to Manifold. Manifold with a little flip shot back to Campson, but a broken play right there. Henry Porter tried to keep it going. Juan Bellini picks up the loose ball. Well, Bellini tapping that ball, now sends it further down the field. Up front, there's Santos Bellini being ridden in there by Michael Armour, and a whistle on the play. So we'll see what the umpires call here. Our center field camera looking right down the line on that play. So a great view, and that would be the view of one of our mounted officials. So looking like a penalty 2 coming in favor of Rafool Polo. Desperately needing to put another goal on the sheet right here, and it looks like Henry Porter will tee the ball up. We have the foul is a player pushing an opponent across the right-of-way into an oncoming player's right-of-way. And Henry Porter circles his pony back around. Umpire calls play, and here is Porter. Umpire signals goal, so Porter putting that ball high in the air and in between the goalposts. So a penalty 2 right there, and now a score of 11-5. 6-goal difference with 3:24 on the clock, and I predict we'll have our courtesy horse change once we get back here, but we'll see if any players need to change. It is a courtesy. It's in the tournament conditions this year that clubs may use the courtesy horse change, set up by the Grand Champions Polo Club and Melissa Gansey. So, right now, this is what Rafool needed, and here comes Henry Porter trying to stay out front of Chris Campson, but Chris Campson showing no mercy. He's going to put pressure on Porter, and Porter hits a high-lofted shot, but off to the right-hand side of the goal, and I hear the whistle now. So now we'll have our courtesy horse change. Remember, if you're in the area this winter, stop by the Grand Champions Polo Club. And the Grand Champions Polo Club, one of the nation's largest polo club, celebrating its 16th anniversary. And the Santa Rita Polo Farm is the largest and most unique private 102-acre polo facility in Wellington. With 212 stalls in several self-contained barns, exercise track, 5 climate-controlled tack rooms, vet rooms, staff quarters, guest house, and polo fields with the state-of-the-art underground irrigation and stick and ball fields. The club has 13 well-manicured fields, including 9 world-class fields at Grand Champions Polo Club and the Santa Rita Polo Farm combined. So stop in and see us. Polo is free here to the public. And we'll talk about the polo on demand when we have another break in the action. Right now, looks like all players on their second half ponies, and Chris Campson waiting for the umpire to call play, as he does. And Chris Campson taking the ball across the goal mouth. Henry Porter in waiting on him, and Campson chooses the right-hand side, and that's where Nick Manifold is. And Manifold with a shot downfield. Chris Campson's now going to pick it up. Heading right towards center of the field on a speedster right here. Campson not checking up, not slowing down. Can he keep it on the field? A back shot right there across the goal mouth. Ball still on the field. No indication there by our goal judge, and now we wave it wide, so we'll have a knock-in once again by Rafool Polo. 2:08 on the clock. The ball put down. So a little discussion going there, and umpire Schwetz picks up the ball. So we're going to have a look at this play, that shot on goal. Have a look at that last shot. Was it a goal or was it out or what? So using our technology here at CTV Sports. And one more time, if we could, and our viewers at home can also see the difficulties that the umpires have to go through on these types of plays. So the question is, was the ball over the back line? Was it over the back line before the back shot was made and the goal scored? So we will get that information. Once we have it, we will relate it to you. 1:55 on the clock, a score of 11-5. So So, all waiting, and okay, so the goal is confirmed right here by our instant replay, and that ball was on the line, which is still in play when, if it is on the line. And remember, the goal away, the ball has to pass all the way over the line for it to be a goal or to be out of bounds. It must break the plane of. So we've looked at that play several times, and it was determined to be a goal. So a score of 12-5 right here in favor of Loudmouth, and umpire Schwetz puts the ball back on the ground. Campson coming through one more time, racking up those statistics of bowl ends 1. And now Scott Sobero headed for the back shot made by Porter, and Sobero with a great back shot over towards the center where he heard Campson calling for it. Porter into the legs of a pony, and now Porter going back to get the loose ball. Porter with a back shot of his own, but unable to get to, and actually that was Santos Bellini, unable to reach Porter, and now Porter comes in there for an offside shot. Nobody back there but Chris Campson. Campson goes back, gets the loose ball, turns back around. Henry Porter right there waiting on him. Nick Manifold going to come back and back him up, but Campson decides to splurge on through. Campson now going to go for that deep neck shot, unable to connect, but here comes Manifold. He's going to do the same thing along the ground, unable to reach the goal and get the angle he wanted, and that ball is going to travel to the outside, wide to the right. So once again, Rafool Polo having 5 knock-ins in the first half, running up that stat here in the second half. Juan Bellini surveys the field, brings it over to his left-hand side. He's got players coming over here to help him out as well, looking for Porter. Porter checks down, lets the ball pass, but Manifold comes in there with a back shot. Chris Campson with a near side back shot, and Scott Sobero right out front, but being ridden off by Porter. Sobero unable to get to the ball over the back line, and that is going to end Chucker number 4, a score of 12-5 right here on Field 5. Stay with us for 2 more exciting Chuckers right here at the Grand Champions Polo Club.
I am Nick Weaver. I am the co-founder and COO of Blue Delta Gene Co. I probably measured over 30,000 butts, 7 feet tall and 7 feet wide. Doesn't matter. It is fun making people happy. When you make a garment that fits, that's one thing. When you make a garment fit and look good, that's another thing. And we are very good at the latter. We have grown our company by taking care of people. We have grown by making jeans that fit. There are some things that will never change: where it's made, how it's made, and who's making them. Every jean is one of one. But now we can get you measured from anywhere in the world. We have rolled out a virtual tailor system, blown away with the technology. It's unbelievable how accurate it is. It's a quick, easy, touchless way so we can get the measurements to make you a pair of damn good jeans.
Thank you for tuning in here on this Great day of polo right here on Field 5. I'm Steve Lane, and we are in the fifth chukker, getting ready to start the fifth chukker here in the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup. 8-goal tournament, 7 teams in this tournament. Final game of regulation play taking place today at 3 o'clock, or in bracket play, I should say. So after today, we will know the 4 teams set for the semifinals, which are scheduled for Friday. Time to be announced. And in the meantime, Rafool Polo in blue taking on Loudmouth. Loudmouth ahead by a score of 12-5. So should things keep going the way they are, that would put Loudmouth at a 2-0 record and a good chance to be one of those top 4 teams. But right now, Henry Porter slaps a shot over to Santos Bellini. Ridden off by Campson. A pair of gray horses come together right there. And Campson winning the play, the right-off, and the back shot. And now Campson once again playing number 3, but he's playing number 4 in this particular play. Juan Bellini attempts a back shot. Now the ball picked up here by Nick Manifold. Centering a shot over to Scott Sobero. Scott Sobero with a nice shot downfield. Juan Bellini coming back, flips the ball, just messing up the timing for Sobero. But now Manifold comes through, sends the ball over to the right, now picked up by Porter. Porter trying to get a little momentum going right here. Now Santos Bellini on his gray pony, taking the ball over to the right-hand side. Bellini hits it a little bit too far. Chris Campson picks it up. Campson looking over his shoulder, and I bet he's going to turn it. He's done it all game long, trying to get around Bellini. And now Campson spurts on ahead just a little bit, leaves the ball behind, but Nick Manifold coming in there as well. So does Santos Bellini. Santos Bellini reaching down, getting that ball. Father Juan coming in there to help out. Juan's going to break on through. Santos is going to take Chris Campson out behind. Michael Armour coming back to help out. And Juan Bellini with a shot on goal and puts it on through. What a great play right there by Santos and Father Juan. They desperately needed that goal right there, and now they've got half a dozen on the board. So, once again, Juan Bellini comes on through. Goal judge says right in the center. So now the players come back for another bowl-in on umpire Schwetz. Umpire Schwetz shows the players the ball, puts it along the ground. Once again, Chris Campson coming out, turning things on back around on the near side, and Henry Porter attempting to do the same thing, unable to get the distance he wanted, but enough distance where Juan Bellini could get to it. Now Bellini sending the ball back over to Henry Porter. Porter going to let that ball come off the boards. Nick Manifold coming in there to ride him off. Backed up by Juan Bellini. Nick Manifold told to clear by the umpire. Now dropped off for Bellini. Bellini looking over and taps the ball forward. Nick Manifold's going to come in. Not quite enough window right there. So the whistle has sounded, and it looks like we will be headed towards the penalty line in favor of Rafool Polo. So a penalty 3, open goal penalty, 40-yard undefended shot. Henry Porter teeing the ball up. Players have 20 seconds to tee the ball up. Remember, this is a one approach, one hit, or one hit at. Not allowed to dribble the ball or tap the ball on a penalty 3. Penalty 3's undefended worldwide this year. Not in the tournament conditions anymore to defend the penalty 3s. Umpire calls play, and here is Henry Porter. Porter puts it on through on that penalty 3. Henry Porter's 4th goal of the day. One in the first chukker from the field, one in the third chukker on a penalty 3, one in the 4th on a penalty 2, and now in the 5th on a penalty 3. 4:28 on the clock. Umpire Schwetz shows the players the ball one more time and looking for a clean lineup. Now bowls the ball underhand and hard as well as it's supposed to be done. Juan Bellini winning this bowl-in. Chris Campson has to get out of the way. Bellini doesn't waste any time sending the ball down the field, looking for Henry Porter. He's been looking for him for most of the day today. Henry Porter splurging out front, hits the ball off to the left. Now coming with a back shot. putting a centering shot right in front of goal, but picked up in red by Campson. Campson turning the ball dangerously in front of the opponent's goal, now able to get the ball and send it downfield to Scott Sobero. Sobero out front by 4 horse lengths, tops it just a little bit. Juan Bellini and Santos override. Campson picks it up, sending it back up to Sobero. Sobero right now with the ball off to the right-hand side just a little bit. Hits it, but it's right in front of the goal post, and a centering shot right there by Manifold, but nobody able to get to it but Bellini. Bellini right there. So Bellini directing his team. Campson on the near side, riding off Santos Bellini. Once again, those two gray horses come together. Campson trying to get around, but Santos Bellini hooks Campson out of the play. Nick Manifold comes firing through, a shot on goal, and not going to be successful. And once again, we will have our courtesy horse change. So that Loudmouth team on the roll as far as offense goes. And a bad luck right there for Scott Sobero. That ball just ended up right in front of the goalpost. So a lucky break once again for Rafool Polo. And our courtesy horse change taking place right now. And remember, the Grand Champions Polo Club, we cater to men, women, and youth polo players at all levels. It's the expert staff that can customize a complete playing experience, which includes horses, pros, international umpires, in addition to lessons and practice sessions as part of its Polo On-Demand program. And I know Juan Bellini was out giving a couple of lessons yesterday, and they cater to everybody's demand. So if you're interested in playing polo, or if you're going to be in the area for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, come on by, take a lesson. You never know who you might get a lesson from. The old Polo Pony, or Pony Express, now is a polo school and is a polo club. 2 new barns going in over there, and a new field, one field already existing, and you could get a lesson from anybody, any high goal player. And Juan Bellini, Director of Polo Operations, can set that up for you. Right now, he's going to give a lesson on knocking the ball in. As he looks around, Henry Porter shoots across goal. Juan Bellini stays to his right-hand side. And now Bellini down the right-hand side looking for Santos. A back shot out of there by Michael Armour. And now Chris Campson picks up the loose ball. Chris Campson, he's been all over the place today. I talked to Chris before this game, and he said the game that he played the other day, he's never been so tired in his life. And right now, Henry Porter unable to keep it going. Nick Manifold's going to take it forward to buy a little bit of time. Forward once again, allowing Campson to get in position, and a little touch pass back to Campson. Campson releases the ball one time. Scott Sobero downfield, playing a great number 1 out front. Sobero with a shot on goal, puts it on through. Scott Sobero's 4th goal of the game. So playing a very offensive number 1, and right out where he needs to be. Campson sees him. There's the next shot. Sobero out front all by himself, unmarked, a one-time shot right through. Goal judge waves the high flag, a score of 13-7 right now in favor of Loudmouth, the team in the multicolored shirts, with 1:45 on the clock. And now Henry Porter on that steel gray pony, turning back, trying to get away from Nick Manifold. Nick Manifold mounted very well. Santos, Bellini, and Campson. Bellini gets there first with a near side shot. Now Campson coming in the mix as well. Campson checks down. Bellini goes on by. Oh, and Campson hooked out of there by Henry Porter, but Campson maintains possession, told to use it, sends the ball towards the goal, and a shot right there by Chris Campson for his 8th goal of the day. So Campson scoring 8 goals out of 14, only 6 scored by other players. 4 of them scored by Scott Sobero. So this team pretty even. Michael Armour, the only one yet to score, but he's playing the defensive position. He's not supposed to score. It's up to the other 3 guys up front. So Dale Schwetz looking for a clean lineup. The ball does go in just before the horn. And now, Juan Bellini coaching Santos, telling Santos what to do. Santos brings it back across the field. Now Santos on the near side. Santos staying with it right there. Scott Sabero put some pressure on him. Santos unable to get to it. And now Father Juan taps it where he can set up a long shot, and he does. And here comes Santos, able to get back to the offside. Now he's got to get around Chris Campson. He shoots towards goal, and that ball wide to the left-hand side, and that's going to end Chucker number 5 right here. So stay with us for the final Chucker here in the 2023 Game 6 Aspen Valley Cup right here at the Grand Champions Polo Club. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us live here on field number 5 at the Grand Champions Polo Club. One more Chucker to go in regulation play. A score of 14-7 in favor of Loudmouth over Rafool Polo. So this, should things end the way they are, this will put Loudmouth at a record of 2-0. They are in a two-team bracket. Brackets 2 and 3 were both two-team brackets and a crossover. So all that math happening this afternoon with Cale Newman after the 7th and final game of in-bracket play. So Loudmouth going over to talk to Red Armor, coach, here in between periods. I'm not sure they have to talk about too much, but there might have been some discussion on some minute aspects of the game. And join us again at 3 o'clock here this afternoon where Oria Polo takes on Dracaris for our last game. Both of those teams a 1-0 record. So an important game for both teams. We ended with a safety at the end of Chucker number 5. That ball coming off the mallet of one of the Loudmouth players. So Rafool Polo, the team in blue, the recipient of a penalty 6. Henry Porter been hitting these balls off the penalty line. Juan Bellini has teed it up for him. Umpire has called play. Henry Porter, no, he has not called play. Waiting on one more player. So, entering the field now. And Henry Porter and a fan driving on Lake Worth Road, tooting the horn. Loving polo. So, Ray Rafool now on the field. Umpire has called play, and Henry Porter on a penalty 6. Henry Porter with a lofting shot, but off to the left-hand side, unable to put that penalty 6 where it needed to be. So Chris Campson will bring the ball in off the back line. Umpire calls play. Here's Campson over to his right-hand side. He's got Scott Sobero breaking down the center of the field. 2 other players right behind him. Nick Manifold coming along there as well. But Henry Porter reaches back, gets that ball. Now it does pass the stirrup of Juan Bellini. Juan Bellini able to make the play as Henry Porter rode off Nick Manifold, allowing Bellini to get to the play. Bellini gets underneath it a little bit too much, putting the ball up there for Son Santos. Santos reaching down. Santos able to complete the play. So 4-3-2. And Santos Bellini finishing things off right here now with 8 goals on the board. There's Juan Bellini hitting it up. Santos Bellini taking the man out early, separates, comes back, hits the ball through the goal. So an outstanding play right there by the young 2-goal player. Ball back on the ground. Chris Campson winning another bowl in. Going to take it behind Bellini, playing a little cat and mouse, deciding which way to go. And now Campson with a line drive down the field off to the left-hand side. Nobody home, but players marked up very well. Now Henry Porter on the ball. Santos flips out a little bit, giving Henry Porter that play. Porter trying to get around. Nick Manifold back there as well. Now Porter out there avoids the hook of Manifold. Now Porter moving things along nicely. Chris Campson right out front ahead. Now drops the ball off to Bellini. Bellini able to drop on that line. And now Bellini with a neck shot downfield looking for Santos. Michael Armour coming back, riding him off. Takes the man wide. Couldn't quite connect on the near side. Now Santos Bellini. We've seen him score from this play 2 chukkers ago. And now Santos with a neck shot towards goal. Can't quite get the angle, and that ball is wide to the right. So Rafool Polo unable to convert that play. And Loudmouth once again bringing the ball back in by Double K, Chris Campson. Chukker number 6 underway. Campson sends a long shot across the goal. Nick Manifold, he called for it. He's got it. He's on it. He's got that little bay pony moving right on along. Checks down to rake that ball off the boards. And now Henry Porter staying just ahead. Manifold releasing the ball back towards Campson. Campson on the near side. Hits it a little bit too far, but Juan Bellini unable to get to it, but Henry Porter does. Turns the ball towards the outside. Now Porter. He's got Santos up front. So is Michael Armour playing defense. And now Porter brings it back towards center where Manifold doesn't have a play. And now Porter hits the ball down the field, and Santos able to get to it. Santos checking down just a little bit. Santos. Now Michael Armour coming in there as well. Santos taking it back towards the center. Campson coming in there, hooked on the neck shot. Manifold ends up with the ball, bringing it over towards the near boards. Manifold on the move right here, tries to find Scott Sobero. Sobero able to get to it on the offside and just tops it just a little bit, crossed over just a little bit late. And now Santos Bellini taking it towards the inside. Father Juan coming back. Santos breaking down the field. So is Henry Porter. A nice pass right there to Santos. So that ball took a nasty bounce. What a bad luck play right there for Santos. Chris Campson picks it up. Chased by Henry Porter. Henry Porter sends a missile down the field right out front for Scott Sobero. And a whistle on the play right there. And I believe we'll have a riding into the shot against Rafool Polo, and I believe we'll do our courtesy horse change right here at the same time. So our 2 umpires coming together for a discussion, and we don't want to predetermine what they decide. So we'll have a riding into the shot penalty when we come back, a penalty number 2 in order. 3:16 on the clock. And the Polo School, as I mentioned, now at the former Pony Express facility, which operates in Wellington. And they are here January through May and September through November. And the Polo School is a USPA-sanctioned polo club, a beautiful spot over there and a great place to learn polo. If you're in the area and would like some polo lessons, I've known some people from Ocala that have come down and done just the exact same thing. I saw them there in Ocala during the fall. I said, did it help you? And they said, absolutely. So, with all the high goal players on the roster, and you could get a lesson from a 7, 8, or 9, or 10 goal player for that matter. And, of course, don't forget our Tuesday evenings with Sunset Chuckers, and that is for the Polo School, combined with some of the world's best players playing on Tuesday evening. Cocktails and some refreshments, and polo on Field 1 can be viewed from the stadium, open to the public, where the Ganseys have done a great job doing a lot of things for polo, and that's just something extra that they do. And actually the Polo Schools, those games are filmed by CTV Sports, so the Polo School, if you're in the Polo School, you can play on Field 1 and also go back and watch yourself on CTV Sports. In addition, right now, that not many other clubs have. So all games live stream here at the Grand Champions Polo Club. And players returning after the courtesy horse change. 3:16 on the clock. All of the Rafool team is here, waiting on one more Loudmouth player. So an open goal, penalty 2, 30-yard undefended shot awarded to Loudmouth. Score of 14-8 right now, so 6 goals ahead, no pressure. We'll see if they pass the stick. Umpire has called play. And here is Scott Sobero, scoring 4 goals today already from the field. And this will be his first attempt from the penalty line. Circling that horse around to get it on the correct lead, which is the right lead. Here is Sobero. Scott Sobero shows he can hit from the penalty line just as well as on the field. Straight on through, dead in the center. A great job right there from our film crew as well, I might add. So, Sobero getting things done here in the 6th chucker. So now, players come back to center. A little bit of a breezy day today here on Field 5. 15 to 25 mile an hour field gust. Sun ducking in behind the clouds a little bit, which we appreciate on this field. But right now, that ball goes all the way back through the bowl in. Juan Bellini, the first to jump on it. And Juan Bellini trying to direct his team around here a little bit. And now setting up for the big hit. Looking for Henry Porter. And Henry Porter able to get to it on the offside. Henry Porter, oh, bad luck right there. Hits it off the heel of his mallet. Will it stay on the field? Yes, he's able to turn that ball back towards the center, but hits it right to Campson. Campson gets a piece of it, and then Santos comes in, and that ball over the back line. So an unlucky break right there for Rafool. It looked like Loudmouth have taken their foot off the gas just a little bit. But remember, they might want to use these last 2 minutes for practice for the semifinals. And Campson's going to do just that. He's going to send it right to Sobero. Ray Rafool right there with him. Juan Bellini coming back, riding off Michael Armour. Sobero with a nice shot downfield. Sobero, he's got the difficult next shot, but he gets it off right over in the center of the field, about 15 yards out. But Juan Bellini coming through to clean things up. Bellini by himself out there now, taking the ball over to the far boards. He's got Santos Bellini down the field. Henry Porter to his left-hand side. Bellini with a shot downfield, unable to reach Son Santos. Now Bellini with a half-swing shot. Henry Porter up there as well. He's got 2 to choose from. Can he get it up there? Yes, he does. Right to Santos Bellini. And Bellini with 2 taps, putting it on through. So Santos Bellini, his second score of the period right now, bringing them to 9 goals. So Rafool Polo, a little bit too little, a little bit too late. 45 seconds left on the clock, and we will play these last 30 seconds out in every final chucker of every game. The regulation portion of the period must be played out. First horn coming. Umpire Schwitz bowls the ball in. Henry Porter able to put a mallet on it right here. Over to Ray Rafool. And now Porter breaks out of there, headed towards that west end of the field. Nobody's going to contest him. It looks like players have thrown in the towel, and Henry Porter unable to get it done. The clock is going to wind down. Our second horn coming, so Loudmouth is going to edge out Rafool Polo with a score of 15-9, the final score. And stay with us momentarily. We will have stats on the second half of this game. And a lot of teams use these stats because you might want to know what your team's doing that you're going to play up against next. And here we go. Shots on goal, the most important for me right now, and Loudmouth with 25, scoring 15 of those goals. Shots on goal 15 by Rafool, scoring 9 of those goals. Knock-ins, Rafool taking a lot of knock-ins right here. They took 5 in the first half, now 10 here, or 5 in the second half, bringing them a total of 10. And Loudmouth only taking 5 knock-ins. Throw-ins, that's a big change right there. Loudmouth winning 16 compared to 10 for Rafool. Fouls committed, only 2 by Rafool and 7 by Loudmouth. Penalties scored, not much right there. And 60-yard penalties, only 1. And 30-yard penalties, 1 for each. 40 yards, 2 for Rafool. So it looks like 4 goals coming from the penalty line for Rafool, and only 2 coming for Loudmouth. Thank you for joining us. Please join us today at 3 o'clock for the game number 7, the last game in bracket play. For our Chucker TV family, I'm Steve Lane, and we'd like to say thank you for making CTV Sports the leader in polo broadcasting. We'll see you this afternoon at 3 o'clock.